Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This report will be about TNA Impact's taped episode for this Thursday. But first, as usual, I will give you some TNA news. Specifically going into this past Sunday's TNA Bound for Glory pay-per-view, TNA had about 2,500 tickets sold for that event, which would consider a disappointment. Sunday's show was heavily papered, as we made pretty clear on the pay-per-view. After the Sting and Hogan match, there had been a lot of Sting and Hogan teaming up on pay-per-view to take on Ric Flair and a partner, to be named later on. Before last night's TNA Bound for Glory pay-per-view, the plan was to put the World Heavyweight title on Robert Roode, but unfortunately, speculation last Sunday was that Roode may win the title on an upcoming Impact Wrestling episode or the next pay-per-view. There was a lot of talk that they should put the belt on him on the pay-per-view last night, or on Sunday night, especially with Kurt Angle being injured. And other speculation is that they're waiting to put the title on Jeff Hardy. But the spoiler is, there is a new champion anyways. And I probably will do the celebration afterwards on tonight's TV taping for next week's show. Yes, the champion celebrated with his other members of his faction. To be determined later on in this program when I give the results. Sunday Bound for Glory, Bobby Roode failed in his attempt to win the TNA World Heavyweight title when he was pinned by Kurt Angle. After the referee failed to notice his arm under the ropes, Angle was also using the ropes for leverage as well. TNA had originally planned for Roode to defeat Angle for the belt. Hulk Hogan, however, lobbied to have the finish changed since he felt that the former Team Canada member wasn't ready for a run with the title. And this is where my opinion changes, because this new champion came into the business after Bobby Roode did. Okay. Alright, between that and his war of words with AJ Styles in the past few days, there was a lot of resentment towards Hogan among the longtime employees, especially since Hogan was criticizing Styles on Twitter when it was known that he had missed Saturday's fan interaction event due to a death in his family. During Sunday's Bound for Glory pre-show, the female Christina Von Eerie, who aided Ink Inc. in their skirmish against Mexican America on last Thursday's episode of Impact taping, and was referred by the announcers as Toxine, which I never heard her name mentioned during the episode of Impact. She accompanied Jesse Neal and Shannon Moore, where they unsuccessfully challenged Mexican America for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. Well, their pay-per-view was a six-person match, so there wasn't no big championship change anyways on that night, because it was a six-way. So, from my understanding, it was a six-way, but I guess it was not. Okay. Near the bout's conclusion, the alternative knockout came to grips with Sarita after she attempted to interfere on Mexican America's behalf and ripped her protective mask off. The Canadian native appeared the same as before her recent health scare. Sarita resumed competing without the protective mask over a month ago in Mexico, after announcing on July 8th that she had been stricken with facial paralysis. TNA storyline explanation for the Mexican American star suddenly donning the protective mask on July 14th episode of Impact. that she had broken her orbital bone and jaw during a parking lot brawl with Miss Tessmacher and Tara. There's a lot of resentment within 10A. I think I already read that. Okay. After Hogan's match with Sting last night, he was said to be in intense pain to where he couldn't move much immediately after going backstage after his match with Sting at Bound for Glory. Kurt Angle was said to be in worse shape than Hogan was and had to be taken to his dressing room and laid on his back. One source noted that Angle's injured hamstring area was black before he wrapped it before his match on Sunday. Thus, the X that was given to everybody when after the match, immediately the referee did the X sign. Okay. Recently, Kurt Angle made an appearance on Sports Access on PW 247radio.com, talking about the current TNA product and making it clear he only intends to stay with TNA for another 3 years after agreeing to the new deal recently. God willing, this is what he was saying, quote, God willing, we have more wrestling and less talk. I've been pushing for that. Sometimes we have people there on the show that don't wrestle. They take up a lot of the show with only promos. The young guys need to step up and be the guys cutting the promos. It's kind of a catch-22. We need to realize who we are, and we need to fix that problem. The young talent needs the opportunity to shine. I'm one of the top guys in the company, and I don't want to remain there. I don't know who it will be, but I am more than willing to find somebody in the company to hand the torch over to and say, hey, you take the lead and I'll follow you. I'm near the end of my career. I've got 3 more years left with TNA Wrestling, and then I'm done. I signed that deal with TNA so I can help the company. I want them to compete with WWE. It will take some time, but it will happen. And that source came from ProWrestling.net. Hulk Hogan was interviewed last Friday by Peter Rosenberg of New York City hip-hop radio station Hot 97. Rosenberg is known for getting pro wrestling's top stars to open up like nobody else, and in this interview was no exception. Among the topics discussed include how the industry has changed from the 80s compared to today, in terms of how storylines unfold way too quickly, his relationship with Vince McMahon, his relationship with Steve Austin, with Stone Cold, and never getting to work with him, his heat with Bret Hart over not putting Bret over on the way out of WWF when he left in 1993, a backstage confrontation they had at the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony, and how Stone Cold was involved. Hulk Hogan claims Bret Hart stole the line, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, according to this report. But he did not say that in the video that was shown. TNA wanted to bring in Bret Hart last year, but Hogan revealed why he squashed that idea. And then he talked about his relationship with Owen Hart. Very, very respected relationship. Who he most regrets putting over and who he wished he had put over. He regretted Ultimate Warrior and wanted to put over Stone Cold Steve Austin at the end of the video where they ended it. Because his match that he still wants to happen is Stone Cold versus Hulkster himself. And he's already said that Hulk would be greatly honored to lose the match. So there's your spoiler for that match if it was ever to happen. TNA issued a press release on Tuesday, that was last night, formally announcing that Bruce Pritchard is the company's new Senior Vice President of Programming and Talent Relations. So that's an upgrade from his just the storyline writer for TNA. The president, Dixie Carter, said the following about Pritchard's new role in the company. TNA, quoted by saying, TNA gaining such a wealth of knowledge and insight as we continue to grow our business with the addition of Bruce to our senior management staff, unquote. This appointment is quoted again by saying, this appointment is another indication to the community that TNA's Impact Wrestling is gaining ground across all platforms. We are thrilled that Bruce is bringing his knowledge in television production, writing, and talent relations to TNA. So, I guess he's the COO of TNA. As previously reported, Bruce Pritchard took the role of Vince Russo, who now works under Pritchard as part of the creative team. Pritchard, best known as Brother Love in WWF and a former high-ranking WWE official and confidant of Vince McMahon, is also quoted in the press release. And this is what he was saying. Quote, I am looking forward to working with exemplary talent, both in front of the camera and behind the scenes at TNA. There are some exciting new ventures in progress as we speak, involving the tremendous roster of current TNA superstars, as well as development for TNA superstars of the future. Okay, that's unquote. Quoted again, we're expanding our roster and looking for new and adventurous additions to the television product. I welcome the challenge and am invigorated by the endless opportunity this company provides. Our fan base for our brand continues to grow, and I'm proud to be a part of it, unquote. And that source was from iconvision.com. Or iconvision.com. Iconvision.com. Whichever you want to influence it. Well, here's a spoiler. Gail Kim Mater returned at the TNA Wrestling taping on last night. In a segment that will air Thursday show, and she attacked the knockout champion, Velvet Sky. Kim returning to the company should surprise no one, given some of her recent online comments. She had a memorable run with TNA before a financial dispute caused her to sign with WWE. And she was a heel back then, and guess what? She's a heel now. A number of wrestlers who are considered regulars at the TNA Impact tapings were not appearing on last night's episode taped. The talent is under the impression that the company intends to focus heavily on Dixie Carter returning to power and Hulk Hogan's babyface turn. Assuming they will also focus on Robert Roode to some extent following his loss at the pay-per-view, I'm all for TNA showing more focus on a few stories on TV, rather than just trying to cram everyone on the show with the being that they may make the right calls on which stories to highlight. Here's another spoiler. The new champion, James Storm, defeated Kurt Angle in a 3-minute match to win TNA title during the Impact tapings. Robert Roode, Kazarian, and AJ Styles celebrated in the ring with Storm after the match, thanks to their TNA taping correspondent. It took several hours after that for the dirt sheets to get the actual results. That's why I'm just now getting the video done on the Wednesday at 2:50 p.m. right now. It will be interesting to see the directions that they take now. The Storm is now the champion. And the Storm did what Roode failed to do at Bound for Glory. The only problem I see with this scenario is that Roode would be the heel now, chasing the babyface champion. Well, how James Storm won the belt? Well, Kurt Angle was the ending to the match. Kurt Angle was disagreeing with the ref for something about a count, I believe that's what I was understanding with the dirt sheet. A report on the championship title change. Well, after arguing with the ref, James Storm gave him the super kick and pinfall. 3 minutes in the match. Over with. Said and done. Okay. And here's Rude's feelings after the pay-per-view. Okay, coming. After months of build-up to Bobby Roode TNA World Title match at Bound for Glory, plans were changed the day of the event, and the decision was made for Kurt to retain. According to ProWrestling.net, Bobby Roode understandably disappointed that his planned TNA World Title win was scrapped at the last minute. That said, Roode was very professional about the entire situation and did not challenge the decision when it was presented to him. James Storm was at Bound for Glory also on Sunday and was scheduled to cut a promo prior to the main event, hyping the significance of Roode's title shot. That promo had to be left off the show due to the TNA running short of time during the pay-per-view. So thus is why you had the surprise ending and boring. No comment on the rest of that. That source I guess was ProWrestling.net. TNA Shop's website has 2 more days left of bidding on some hand-painted Jeff Hardy action figures done by Hardy himself. Well, that's 2 days. Today's day 1 and tomorrow's day 2. Yes, Jeff Hardy's hand-painted portraits. They are 4 different figures, with the lowest bid currently running $330 and the highest bid right now running $1,260. TNA announcer Mike Tenay is now on Twitter at Real Mike Tenay. As noted before, Tommy Dreamer was also in attendance at the TNA Bound for Glory with his wife, Beulah McGillicuddy. They greeted fans as they were leaving the arena, and Dreamer was heard joking with fans and apologizing for the shitty finish. So a lot of the talent knew what was going on. Former WWE and TNA star Bobby Lashley has signed a multi-picture deal with Sean Kane Films, which includes a role in Josh Turner's epic reality sequel, The Indie Wrestler 2. Shooting begins December 2nd in Rossman, North Carolina. Former WCW talent Melissa Bellin, aka Nitro Girl Spice, has been added to Wrestle Reunion, which takes place January 27th to the 29th at Los Angeles Airport, Westin Hotel in Los Angeles, California. She will also be participating in a bikini photo shoot at that event. Hulk Hogan commented on the news of Storm's win and the fallout from Bobby Roode getting the rug pulled out from under him and Bound for Glory after reports surfaced on Monday that Hulk Hogan convinced the management not to put the title on Roode because he's not really ready yet. Hogan maintains that everything is falling into place. Well, duh, it's scripted. Good morning, Hulkamaniacs, he quoted. Can't wait for all the Roode fans that turn to haters to see the big picture. Thank God we still have real marks. HH, unquote. And that's what he said on his Twitter. The TNA executive Eric Bischoff also commented on the decision to put the world heavyweight world title on James Storm instead of Bobby Roode. Bischoff tweeted, quote, having a blast watching internet marks react. Candy from a baby, unquote. James Storm commented on Twitter after his title win last night's Impact taping. He wrote this on the following Twitter last night. Quote, one hell of a belt buckle I won tonight. Thanks to all the fans, family, and friends. This is for my dad in heaven. I used to watch wrestling with 20 years ago. Love you all at Impact Wrestling, champion of the world. I've busted my ass for the last 15 years entertaining you fans. My time has come. Thank you, God. Unquote. And now for the Impact Wrestling spoilers. Thanks to Eric. And the tapings were in Orlando, in the Impact Zone. This is October 20th episode. Well, okay, Sting opens the show and talks about getting Dixie Carter control of her company again, and Hulkamania returning. Sting says Hogan finally did the right thing and calls him out. Hogan comes out to a nice reaction and talks about following Eric Bischoff for the past year. Hogan thanks Sting for helping him. Dixie comes in and Dixie comes out and Hogan exits. Sting talks about Dixie getting control back. Dixie says she wants Sting to run the daily Impact operations. Kurt Angle comes out and says he still runs things as World Heavyweight Champion. Angle then rips on Bobby Roode, which brings him out. Roode says he was screwed at Bound for Glory. Sting announced a rematch tonight between Angle and Roode for the title. Well, here's the added scripted coming up. Angle then says the contract said Roode only got one shot at the title. With Angle, that is. Thanks to Bischoff and Hogan putting that in the match. James Storm immediately then came out, and the match with him and Angle was announced for the main event. TNA Knockouts Champion TNA Knockouts Tag Champion Miss Tessmacher and Tara beat Angelina Love and win her to win the titles on the line. I thought they were already on the match. So yeah, well, they were, okay. My bad. Karen and Jeff Jarrett came out to call Jeff Hardy to the ring. Hardy came out and Jarrett cuts a promo on him screwing TNA. They start brawling and security breaks it up. They break free and fight again, which brings out D'Lo Brown and the rest of the agents. And security. Gunner cut a promo on Abyss. Abyss was the second match. This was the second match. Abyss beat Gunner by count out when Gunner just ran away. TNA Knockout Champion Velvet Sky came out for a promo. Got a good pop. Karen then came out with Tracy Brooks and then brought out Madison Rain. Well, Gail Kim came running through the crowd and attacked Velvet. Madison and Kim beat Velvet down in that segment. That's your returning Gail Kim. Eric Bischoff comes out with Immortal and rips on his son, the referee. Does not give a name, so I guess they're going he's going to have a character change for his real name. Hulk Hogan then came out, but Immortal surrounded him. Sting came through the crowd and tossed Hogan a baseball bat to scare Immortal off. And then, surprise, Eric Bischoff's son, Garrett Bischoff, runs out at the end and attacks his dad. Then they had a backstage segment with Roode giving Storm some encouragement for the main event. James Storm defeated Kurt Angle to become the new World Heavyweight Champion in rather a quick match. Angle turned around to a super kick from Storm after arguing with the referee. Roode, AJ Styles, and Kazarian came out to celebrate with Storm after the big win. Storm cut a promo and gave the belt to Roode. Roode tells Storm he deserved to win. Then Impact ends with Storm celebrating with the fans. Well, there was a video shown for that celebration. It was on TwitVid and also later on during the dirt sheets all through the day yesterday, night, whatever we want to call it. And like I said, I didn't even see any results up until about 12 o'clock this afternoon. And that ends my results. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for tonight's TV taping for next week for Impact Wrestling.